B. May 24th. Degree in digital marketing with a minor in entrepreneurial studies. Basically means I know how to use Instagram filters and hustle culture buzzwords. Currently between ventures, which is code for living in my Uncle Miller's guest room in rural Ohio. My big plan is to launch a lifestyle brand for digital nomads. Problem is I have zero capital and my credit score is lower than my body temperature. Uncle Miller is my mom's older brother. Guy is a mountain of a man, built like a vending machine with a mustache. Owns Miller's Timber and Land Clearing. Basically, people pay him to destroy forests and grind stumps. Every day he comes home looking like he wrestled a bear in a mud pit. Sawdust in his eyebrows, grease under his nails, smelling like diesel and pine sap. He drives a beat-up Ford F-450 that sounds like a dying dragon. I look at him and just feel pity. Guy has been doing manual labor for 40 years. Zero scalability. Zero passive income streams. Just trading time for money like a peasant. One Tuesday night, I'm in the kitchen making a kale smoothie. Miller walks in, kicks off his mud-caked boots. Thud thud. The floor actually shakes. He opens the fridge, grabs a beer, and downs half of it in one gulp. I decide to offer him some unsolicited consulting. You know, Uncle Miller, you're really limiting your growth potential. He looks at me, wiping foam from his mustache. Is that right? Yeah, I mean, look at you. You're the bottleneck. You need to automate, outsource the labor, create a franchise model. I lean back against the counter, feeling smart. You're working in the business, not asterisk on the business. It's small-time thinking. Miller stares at me for a long, uncomfortable minute. His eyes are gray and hard, like wet cement. Small time, he repeats. Yeah, I mean dragging logs through the mud. It's 2024. There's tech for that. You're breaking your back for pennies. He sets the beer down. Very gently. You think what I do is just dragging logs. Basically, it's brute force, low IQ input, no offense. Miller cracks a smile, but it doesn't reach his eyes. Tell you what, Elon Musk. I got a job starting tomorrow, 3 days, clearing a swamp lot for a new development. Come with me. Work the ground crew. If you can last 3 days without quitting or crying, I'll give you $5,000 for your whatever the hell lifestyle brand is. I choke on my smoothie. $5,000. That's enough for the website, the LLC, and the initial merch drop. I look at his gut, his calloused hands, his dirty shirt. How hard can it be? It's just picking up sticks and watching machines work. Deal, I say, easy money. Be ready at 4:00 a.m., he says. He finishes his beer and walks away. I smirk. I'm gonna revolutionize this guy's whole operation by lunch. 4:00 a.m. comes. It is ungodly dark. I'm wearing my Gymshark joggers and a pristine North Face hoodie. Miller looks at me and laughs. Actually laughs out loud. Get in the truck. The truck cab smells like stale coffee, chainsaw oil, and wet dog. We drive for an hour into the middle of nowhere. The sun isn't even up yet, and Miller is slamming an energy drink. We pull up to the site. It's a nightmare. It's not a forest, it's a swamp. Thick black mud, tangled vines, mosquitoes the size of birds. Mist is rising off the ground like a horror movie set. 2 other guys are there. Rick and Big Dave. Rick is skinny, smoking a cigarette, missing a tooth. Big Dave looks like he was assembled from spare parts of other giants. They look at me like I'm fresh meat. This the nephew? Rick asks, spitting on the ground. This is the consultant, Miller says. He's gonna teach us how to scale. They both snicker. Miller points to a massive pile of brush and thorny vines partially submerged in black water. We gotta clear the perimeter for the feller buncher. Hand tools only until the lines are visible. He throws me a pair of gloves and a machete. Start hacking, don't cut your leg off. I look at the mud. I look at my expensive sneakers. I take a step. Squelch. Mud goes instantly over my ankles, soaking my socks. Cold, slimy, gritty water. I gasp. Move it, college, Dave yells. I start swinging the machete at the vines. Within 10 minutes, I am sweating profusely. The humidity is 100%. The vines are tough, rubbery things that whip back when you hit them. One smacks me right in the face, scratching my cheek. I yell out. Nobody cares. Miller is 50 yards away, chainsaw roaring, dropping trees with surgical precision. I struggle with a thick root for 5 minutes. My arms are burning. My grip is slipping. I swing hard, miss, and the handle hits my shin. I drop to my knees in the mud. Ow, Jesus. Rick walks past carrying a log that must weigh 200 pounds on his shoulder. Break time is in 4 hours, princess, he mumbles. By 9:00 a.m. I am destroyed. My hoodie is ruined, ripped by thorns and stained black. I have blisters forming on my palms inside the gloves. I'm thirsty, hungry, and I think a leech attached itself to my ankle. Miller kills the chainsaw and walks over. He looks fresh as a daisy. How's the scaling going, he asks. It's inefficient, I pant. You need a machine for this. Can't get a machine in here until the ground is stable. That's why we use mats. He points to these massive heavy wooden platforms stacked on a trailer. We gotta lay those out to make a road for the excavator. Go help Dave unchain them. Helping Dave unchain them turned out to be the worst experience of my life. The chains are heavy cold steel covered in grease. Every link weighs 5 pounds. Dave is shouting instructions I don't understand. Slack it, give it slack, no the binder, pop the binder. I pull on a levers. The chain snaps tight, pinching my finger. Blood blisters immediately. I scream. Dave just sighs, reaches over with a hand like a catcher's mitt, and pops the binder open. Get out of the way before you kill yourself, he grunts. I stand there, throbbing finger in my mouth, watching them work. It's a ballet of violence. They move 1,000-pound logs, toss chains, rev engines. It's loud, dangerous, and chaotic. But they know exactly what they're doing. At lunch, I sit on a stump, eating a cold ham sandwich Miller packed. My hands are shaking so bad I can hardly hold it. I smell like swamp gas and sweat. Miller sits next to me. You quit yet? No, I lie, just pacing myself. Right, pacing. He takes a bite of an apple. You know this job pays for your cousin's med school. I look at him. What? Rick over there, his daughter is in med school. He pays her tuition in cash. I look at Rick, who is currently scraping mud off his boot with a knife. No ways that guy's. That guy makes $45 an hour plus overtime, and he's the lowest paid guy on the crew besides you. I do the math in my head. My brain short circuits. Back in the corporate world, entry-level marketing gigs were offering $18 an hour. We get back to work. Afternoon is worse. The sun comes out and turns the swamp into a sauna. My job shifts to choker setter, which means I have to crawl into the brush, wrap a cable around a fallen log, and signal the skidder to pull it out. I'm crawling on my hands and knees. Mud in my ears. Mud in my mouth. I see a snake. A literal, actual water moccasin slithering 3 feet from my face. I freeze. My soul leaves my body. I scramble backward, crab-walking, screaming high-pitched noises. I trip over a root and land face first in a puddle of stagnant green water. I come up sputtering, spitting out algae. I hear laughter. Loud, booming laughters. Miller is leaning against the skidder, shaking his head. Snake didn't even see you, boy. You're too covered in dirt to look human. I stand up, wiping muck from my eyes. My dignity is gone. My visionary mindset is gone. I just want a hot shower and my mommy. But I remember the $5 grand. I grit my teeth. Just and pull the log, I choke out. By the time we drive home, I am catatonic. I don't even remember the rides. I walk into the house, leaving a trail of black sludge. My aunt screams. Outside, strip outside. I strip to my boxers on the back porch. Use the garden hose on myself. The water is freezing. I'm shivering, bleeding, bruised. I crawl into bed at 7:30 p.m. I sleep like the dead. Day 2. I wake up and I can't move. My back is locked. My hamstrings are tight as piano wire. My hands are claws. Miller kicks the door open. Rise and grind, sunshine. I moan. Can I take a sick day? Sure, but you lose the bet. I roll out of bed and hit the floor. The pain is blinding. I force myself into clean clothes. We go back to the swamp. Today is chipping day. Miller has a wood chipper the size of a semi-truck. It eats whole trees. My job is to feed the small stuff into the intake. The noise is deafening. Even with earplugs, I can feel the vibration in my teeth. I grab a branch, throw it in. Arrrrrrr, crack whoosh. It disappears instantly into a spray of chips. I do this for 8 hours. Lift, throw, lift, throw. Dust covers everything. I'm breathing sawdust. It's in my eyelashes, my nose, my underwear. My arms feel like jelly. At one point, a branch gets stuck. I reach for it. Miller grabs my shoulder and yanks me back so hard I fly 3 feet. Don't you ever reach past the guard, he screams. His face is terrifying. Veins popping, eyes wild. That machine doesn't care if you have a degree. It will pull your arm off and spit it out in pieces before you can blink. I nod, terrified. I realize he just saved my life. Or at least my arms. He stares at me for a second, then pats my back roughly. Pay attention, fear keeps you keep. We sit for lunch. I'm too tired to chew. I just drink water. I look at the pile of chips we made. It's the size of a house. We cleared 2 acres in a day. I look at my hands. They're raw, shaking, covered in band-aids. But weirdly, I feel something. Satisfaction. No, that can't be it. It's just adrenaline. Or heat stroke. On the ride home, Miller is on the phones. Bluetooth earpiece. He's negotiating a contract. No, Bob, the quote is firm. You want the stumps ground below grade, it's extra. Yeah, I know the soil composition, it's clay, burns out teeth faster, take it or leave it. Pause. All right, send the deposit. He hangs up. I look at him. How much was that? Small job, 30 grand. I stare out the window. 30 grand. For a week of work. I start doing mental math on his overhead, fuel, labor. Even with expenses, he's clearing more in a week than I hope to make in 6 months. I look at his faded flannel shirt differently. It's not poverty spec. It's camouflage. He's a secret millionaire disguised as a lumberjack. Day 3. The final day. My body has gone numb. I exist only to move wood. We are finishing the grades. Miller is in the excavator. Big Dave is running the bulldozer. I'm on root duties, walking behind the dozer, picking up roots and rocks so the grade is smooth. It's tedious, backbreaking work. Squat, lift, toss, squat, lift, toss. It starts to rain. Not a drizzle. A torrential downpour. The mud turns to soup. The machinery starts sliding. Miller jumps out of the excavator. We gotta trench the drainage or we'll lose the access road. He yells over the thunder. Grab shovels. Me, Rick, and Dave grab shovels. We are digging a ditch in pouring rain. Mud is flying. I slip and fall face first. I swallow mud. I scramble up, wiping my eyes. I want to quit. I want to cry. I want to be in a coffee shop with Wi-Fi. But I see Miller. He's 55 years old. He's digging like a machine, throwing heavy clay dirt over his shoulder. He's not complaining. He's not analyzing the market fit. He's just doing what needs to be done because nature doesn't wait. Something snaps in me. Not a bone, but my ego. I grab the shovel. I start digging. I channel all my rage. Rage at my failed degree. Rage at the job market. Rage at my own softness. I dig until my hands blade through the bandages. I dig until I can't feel my shoulders. We connect the trench to the creek. The water rushes out of the work zone. The road is saved. Miller leans on his shovel, panting. Water dripping off his nose. He looks at me. I'm covered in mud, shivering, looking like a swamp creature. He nods. Just a single nod. Good work. 2 words. Better than any grade I ever got in college. We pack up. The rain stops. The sun sets over the cleared lot. It looks clean. Ready for something new. I did that. Well, I helped. I feel an odd sense of pride. I look at my hands. They are wrecked, but they look like men's hands for the first time. That night, dinner table, roast beef and potatoes. I am physically unable to lift my fork without trembling. My aunt is fussing over my cuts. Miller walks in. He's showered, wearing a clean t-shirt. He drops a thick envelope on the table next to my plate. Thud. 5 grand as promised. I look at the envelopes. It's thick. Cash. I should be ecstatic. I should be planning my digital nomad launch. But I just stare at it. My aunt smiles. Oh, look at that. You can finally start your little internet business. Miller starts cutting his beef. Kid earned it, didn't think he had it in him, but he didn't quit. He takes a bite. Even if he is useless with a chainsaw. Rick and Dave told him about the snake, obviously. I touch the envelope. It feels heavy, but not as heavy as the chain binder. Not as heavy as the wet logs. I clear my throat. Thanks, Uncle Miller. Don't mention it, just don't spend it all on avocado toast. He chuckles. My aunt looks at me expectantly. So when do you launch? What's the first step? I look at the cash. Then I look at Miller's hands. Knotted, scarred, strong. Then I look at mine's. Still soft but damaged. I think about the lifestyle brand. I think about selling drop-shipped garbage to people who want to look rich. It feels a fake. It feels light. I push the envelope slightly away. Actually, I say. The table goes quiet. I was thinking. The branding can wait a week. Miller raises an eyebrow. Though? Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that big job coming up in the state park next week. The hazard removal ones. Miller stops chewing. I did. Well, I say, picking up my fork and wincing at the pain in my wrist. You're gonna need a spotter for the climber, right? Rick's knee is acting up, he can't run the ropes. Miller stares at me. His eyes narrow slightly. It's hard work, kid, harder than the swamp, dangerous. I know, I say, but the margins on hazard removal are better. I take a bite of potato. And frankly, your invoicing system is a mess. I saw the paperwork in the truck. If I come back next week, I can digitize your billing while we drive to the site. Streamline the cash flow. Maybe get you paid a net 15 instead of net 60. My aunt looks confused. Miller looks at me for a long time. Then slowly a real smile spreads across his face. Not the polite ones. The one he had when the tree hit the ground exactly where he wanted it. He picks up his beer. Be in the truck at 3:30 a.m., he says. We got a long drive. I nod. 3:30 got it. I take a sip of water. My whole body hurts. I'm exhausted. I'm basically a cripple. But for the first time in my life, I'm not between projects. I'm just working.